Conservation Corner on Market Journal is supported by the Nebraska Corn Board.
As we go through the winter months, we wanted to learn about some different ways that producers can lean into conservation practices as we gear up for the next planting season. We'll call it our Conservation Corner. More than ever before, there's a focus right now on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and offsetting environmental impact. As agricultural carbon markets continue to develop, many producers still have some questions. Let's work to answer some of those now as we visit with AGORO Carbon Alliance.
Let's get an update now. What's happening in the carbon credit space? Joining us from AGORO Carbon Alliance is Ryan Winter. He is the Grower Success Manager. Good to see you, Ryan. Size up. Where's the industry at? You guys have been around for more than 3 years now.
Yeah, so we're going into 3.5 years being in the market. We're keep growing. Our customer base keeps growing, which is a good thing, and our customers in general are staying with us because of the service that we're providing on the field. Going forward into next year, I imagine that we'll continue to keep growing as this carbon market keeps evolving and people are learning and being educated about it through various different streams of media and our team out in the field doing presentations and talks with folks. Education is becoming more robust, and people are starting to think, hey, this carbon thing's around to stay.
Let's get down to the basics of how this works. Farmer has practices. You all come in and say, hey, you implement these practices, you'll get a check at the end of the year. Take it from there.
Yeah, so we work with farmers to certain practices that are known by scientific parties that the carbon registries have said, yep, go ahead and you can claim credits towards these practices. We have certain practices that we offer: reduced till, no till in certain cases, and cover crops, specifically on the row crop side of things. If a farmer hasn't been doing those practices in the past and wants to implement any of those by reducing their tillage or going away from tillage completely, or implementing a fall cover crop, a winter wheat or rye, if you will, by implementing those things, we can then start to collect all of the data that's required by the registry and the model, and we do soil samples and start the verification process with that data. We model where the carbon should be at, and we verify in the soil that it's there and where it's at in the soil, and then we run that through a third-party registry that says, yep, you've got so many carbon credits available off of this farm, and then we can go ahead and market those to businesses that are looking to offset their carbon emissions.
How long of a contract is a typical one with the AGORO Carbon Alliance?
Our contracts are 10 years long, and there's a variety of reasons for that. The biggest one being is permanence. The carbon market in general wants to see that the practices are being implemented, and then they're staying with those practices for the remainder of time, if you will. So that's the biggest thing is permanence, and that's why the contracts in this market are generally so long. But also we want to be with the farmer for the long haul. We want to be there to help them in the hard times of these practice changes, because farming in general just is hard, and we want to provide that agronomic support when they need it throughout the 10 years and beyond, hopefully.
We've been talking about the row crop side of it. An interesting development from my seat here on the media side is groups have gone into the livestock space, so offering carbon credits there. Has the AGORO Carbon Alliance done the same?
Yes, absolutely. We 3 years ago, we entered the row crop range and pasture space, and we've had a lot of success with that by implementing new seeding species in pastures, fertilizing with nitrogen. Just a very little amount is enough to start the cycle below ground to get the carbon sequestered into the soil, and then also by improving the way that you graze your livestock in the pastures, not overgrazing, essentially giving your pastures more rest, will also help better forage availability, which is a side benefit, but also it keeps that cycle in the ground going, which improves your organic matter and your carbon at the same time.
What's the biggest misconception when it comes to carbon credits?
That people don't qualify for it. They dequalify themselves before asking questions. There's a lot of concerns around the practice changes, and folks that have been doing practice changes for a lot of years. There's always a concern around that. And before even talking to us at AGORO Carbon, they disqualify themselves because of that reason. And that's the number one thing that I want to emphasize is don't just disqualify yourself. Always come and talk to us. There's a lot of different agronomic ways that you can do this, and we're the experts. We can help define what that is and how it fits your operation.
Can you share an example or two of some of the companies who are buying carbon credits from AGORO?
Yeah, so I can't really speak to that. I'm not on that side of things, but what I can tell you, it's the large businesses that have made the pledges for 2030 and 2040 to be net zero. It's those type of businesses that are making those pledges that we're going to be in business with coming forward in the future.